Hello everybody, my name is Justin Choi and I welcome all of you guys to join me in today's TED Talk where I'll be using the two sociological approach, functionalism and conflict theory, to discuss and explore gender inequality through these lenses. Gender inequality is an issue we face hugely in our current society, and I'll be providing ways where we can resolve this issue from reoccurring in the near future. Alright, since we don't have much time, let's just get right into it. So let's first explore gender inequality through the lenses of our first main sociological approach that is known as functionalism and how it plays a big role in gender inequality. Well, functionalism, also known as functionalist theory, the definition I compiled from looking at discussions and lecture classes and all that is how society is sort of interconnected together, and we sort of work together to make our system work and stable and grow through systems that we create. And these systems are essentially norms that we have. Norms are essentially rules and expectations we have in our society, and these norms are usually gender norms, as we talk about gender inequality. Let me give you an example of how gender inequality exists because of these gender norms. In some research I did in China, in the Hebei province, traditional gender norms is that once a couple is married and they have kids, the wife is forced to quit their professional job and become a stay-at-home mother while the husband goes out and provides the family through going to work and other stuff like that. And this is an example of functionalism in Hebei, where society is sort of interconnected together by the traditional gender norms that are set, where the woman stays at home while the man works, and this is sort of the system for society to be maintained and be stable. So to sort of solve this issue at hand, I think society needs to take a shift in perspective and change their way of how they view functionalist theory, and how that they don't have to always follow the traditional gender norm that men have to go to work and women have to stay at home in order for society to be working efficiently. But it can also quite happen vice versa. I think that men should sort of lower their ego and be accepting the fact that women can take the role of going to work and providing for the family. And even the fact that Forbes talks about how men and women have the same IQ, but when it comes down to EQ, women has a higher advantage, and in workplace, EQ plays a more important role. So maybe by giving women the equal chance and opportunity to work, I think it will really benefit our society as a whole. In this last part of the TED Talk presentation, I'll be exploring conflict theory and how it affects and sort of plays a huge role also in gender inequality. So what is conflict theory? Well, conflict theory, based on the crash course video, which was a required video to watch, it talks about how in a society there's always this constant conflict, this battle, a disagreement between people, because groups, individual people are always constantly struggling with each other by sort of creating this dominance they want to have in society. So how does this relate to gender inequality? Well, in this case, I believe that gender inequality is affected hugely by conflict theory, because men are always trying to dominate society, which leads them to have this driving factor, motivation of dominating themselves over women and holding a higher power and authority over them. So I read this required reading, which is very interesting, and I felt that it is really fits what we're talking about right now. And it's an article on gender and sexualized bullying, and it discussed how girls, especially teenager girls, are faced with bullying, like physical bullying and cyberbullying, are linked to one reason, and which is social stereotype. And what I mean is that, according to Bailey and Steve's research in 2015, they said that social stereotype and gender norms are that girls usually appear more vulnerable, passive, and soft, and due to males' dominant nature trait that they want to appear more powerful, they want to do that by establishing dominance, and by doing so, they like to bully these poor little girls. And also, in the required reading talks about this experiment that Brown, Chesney, and Stein did in 2007, that this experiment found out that children as young as grade 4 have already begun practicing these norms of gender inequality and social stereotype in a way, and which really puts these girls at risk from from harassment and abusement and discrimination that they face at such a young age. And since these young boys adapted this mindset at such a young age, I think which is one of the leading reasons why our society is like this, because they adopted this mindset already at such a young age, and they're already established in society nowadays, which is why we have this issue. I think to solve this issue, this conflict theory of creating dominance that male should have in a society, I think we should teach these young boys at such a young age. And since we saw that by the experience that these children, these boys as young as grade 4 have this mindset, I think we should teach them earlier on that these young boys should treat women with respect, most importantly, and treat them with equally as humans, And from there, by creating this mindset since young, it will help the future generation. Hopes that women in the future don't have to face these struggles of gender inequality, abuse, bullying, and all that harassment. I hope that in today's TED Talk, you guys learned something. I just hope you guys not only learn, but also adapt and share these ideas and sort of stop gender inequality and allow these girls, women in future generation not have to face these struggles of inequality they have in society. Thank you.